Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this reading. Recording this on the full moon in Aries day with the theme of the fog. You can take that as the scary movie, The Fog, or it's more like the fog, like, what am I not seeing clearly right now? Which is kind of an energetic theme that we're going to be in for the next couple of weeks. So we might as well address it right here on the get-go so that you're not kind of floundering around and wondering what's going on and kind of losing focus. So before we do all that, we are going to fill this space in front of you with all sorts of goodness that the guides are going to have me bring into this reading. I don't know exactly what all is coming in yet. This morning, as I was knowing that I wanted to do something for the channel today for you all, oddly, a fog started to roll in, like in the middle of the morning. Usually it's there like in the beginning of the morning and then it goes away. So it's very quiet right now, and I think I'm going to leave it very, very quiet in the background. This has been coming up, different way showers I've been watching too. I've been talking about the void space for this period of time. And so let's just dive into what this is all about. What is this fog? What is this liminal space? What is this void space? How long is it supposed to last, and all that good stuff as we jump into this reading. Right now I'm wrapping us all in love light love, inviting in the guides who would like to support this reading, support you all. It's collective. Again, I just saw 222 go by on my timer. I have Archangel Metatron, who's always here with me, Archangel Michael. I have my little team, Goddess Bridget. I have Yeshua coming in, Mary Magdalene. And they're saying we're going to leave it right there for now. They're wanting me, and they had me do this morning too. I don't know why, and you may want to do this too. They're wanting me to like cover my head with like a scarf. Okay, I don't want to mess up the sound of my video, so let me do this. And kind of pull the scarf, oh my God, this is so bizarre. Pull the scarf kind of over my eyes like I'm wearing a veil. Lovely. All right, you guys, hold on here. Okay, so you may see me walking about. Just don't worry. This is just how I roll. You may see me in and out of the camera. We're going to have me, okay, to know how to get out. I told you I don't want to mess up my sound. They're going to have me light this whiskey and oak candle. What I do notice, though, is that the sound sounds very peaceful. Okay, I gotta move my mic a little bit. And there's water flowing. In the background, I can hear water. Okay, this is a ginormous candle. Oh my God. Okay, the head wrap thing is not going to last. I can tell you that right now. But there's this sense of being veiled, I think, is just the metaphor they're trying to get across to me. And they're just having me purposely sit here for a second with like nothing on the table, so to speak. You see that there's just a candle and my little friends, all my friends in the background. Like you don't know, You don't know what's going on. There's no cards. There's fog potentially. There's a veil over there's a freaking veil over your third eye, which I did see this morning, like a veil that's been purposely placed there by Spirit so that you can't see what's coming next as they work their magic. You guys know I don't really like this void space I find the void space very interesting. They're just going to have me start putting some stuff down. I find the void space very interesting. I don't really know if I like being there or not. We have a little, I'm going to learn all the names of these shells from this shelling videos that I've been watching, but we have a little shell. I'm not going to try to name it. But to me, that little shell always comes up when it's about listening and trusting what you're getting. Like, yeah, there we go. The magical Catahoula speaks. Trusting what you're getting inside. So like messages coming from within. What else do you want me to gather? Oh, lovely. They're having me grab this staghorn and just show you guys. I haven't even grabbed any cards yet. So we're going to be listening, and then we've got this green about healing. Purification. All right, so this is about let's clear our minds and our thoughts and our perceptions. Just spray that a little bit. Spray this over myself. About what's happening here. Because I think what tends to happen is we get in this void space and we kind of get a little nervous, like maybe something bad is going to happen as a result of it that we can't see. Maybe we can't see it because it's like has a negative connotation sometimes, and they're saying, Source is saying, so God is saying, not even just the guides that are here, but Source is saying, like, just to calm down a little bit, because this is something that you've been asking for. This has no negative connotation. Just because the void space is happening in the northern hemisphere right at Samhain time doesn't mean it's something spooky or unwanted. They had me put that little carnation-y, flowery thing down there. It's not real. However, I did get, yesterday morning was very odd. When I, just grabbing some decks. When I walked out of my house, there was this little bouquet of flowers at my door. With nothing, just a little bouquet of flowers. And I was like, all right, what is that all about? And then finally I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter who it's from. I think it was just from a neighbor, like a well-meaning neighbor. But there was no card, no nothing. And I don't think this person will ever step forward and say that it was me. But I thought that was quite interesting. So it was a little surprise. So finally I just kind of said, oh, I don't really care who it's from at this point. It's just a little surprise from Spirit. Because ultimately that's who guided the person to do that little good deed that they did. All right, let's get into some decks so I'm not standing here for hours doing this reading. It does seem like things are happening in threes and from different realms. So we've got, so it's like you're going to be getting messages from all over the place about what's coming up for you. But they're not really going to start revealing themselves until the beginning of next month. So in this case, at the beginning of November. There's a eclipse coming up very shortly thereafter, like within next, I think it's on the 4th. And the new moon, that new moon eclipse is supposed to be very foretelling, they're saying, of what's coming up or what's going to be coming. So you'll be getting messages from a lot of different places. So this is like the plant world. This is like the ocean, the water realm, watery depths. The crystal world to me is a little bit more earthy, like earth-based. So we're saying watch out for signs and synchronicities, things, repeating messages. And oddly, the first thing they had me pick up was this one that I drew. I was trying to make like a mock deck of an oracle deck that I wanted to create for the spirit guides. And Rescue Black Cat is one of my guides. And so I had him just like looking at the back of it. But please excuse my drawing skills on this little guy. But I had like the back of a cat, the tail. And then he was looking like, supposed to be looking like at a life preserver. And he was saying like, save me. Because in this case, this little rescue black cat, some of the guides that I had gotten a while back, this particular one was one that had been like not treated very well at Samhain and had transitioned over. And so in the spirit realms, he was wanting somebody to come and like be his person so he could be their familiar. So he was just like in the spirit world. Oh my God. He was just like in the spirit world, like wishing for someone to come like take him as their familiar, which I did. I was so excited to like get this little cat. I love him so much. So his name is Smudge. And I named him Smudge. He came with like, his spirit name was like really stupid. And I was like, I don't want to call you that. I don't even know where that came from. I don't even remember what it was. But anyway, we can call him Smudge, and he is always around me, but I just thought that was funny. All right, I don't know where you guys can you guys see that. All right. So as always, this time of year, we just jump into Bubble deck, and let's just pull some cards. Let's just pull cards, like, see what's going on with this. What is this fog all about? I do have to do a shameless plug, though, because I had never seen the movie The Fog. And recently my son and I were like, let's watch The Fog. So it's an old, like, 80s movie with Adrienne Barbeau. And she is broadcasting a radio station from a lighthouse. And some of you may or may not have, I don't know who's seen, but I started doing a little series here on the channel called WBAT 44 AM. It is a me and my personas, my archetypes, broadcasting live. So C-Star broadcasting live from the Rockaway Point, had to be Rockaway Point for the Bringers of the Light, Rockaway Point Lighthouse. And I just did an intro episode to that, and I've got obviously more coming because I really think it's fun and I enjoy doing it. And we're bringing in like the townsfolk from Rockaway Point. So this is like dreams coming true. So I've been wanting to do this for a while. So I wouldn't be sharing this story too. It's not a shameless plug, but I wouldn't be sharing this story if it didn't have like a meaning for you guys. But like dreams coming true. And I can't say that was necessary. Maybe it was a dream. Like for the longest time, I wanted to be like a Delilah. So I don't know if you're familiar with like the radio host like Delilah. Like when I was little, like with my mom, a little girl, she would listen to Delilah. And I always loved Delilah and her messages, and she was always very uplifting, and I always like really was like, God, I wish I could do that. Like even my mom could have done that like in her lifetime if she had had the guts. Here we go. This is ancestral healing. I don't even have to pull any freaking cards yet. My mom had that voice. Like even I like my voice. I like to listen to my voice. It relaxes me. Like I go back and listen to these podcast sessions because my own voice, for whatever reason, puts me in a relaxed state. But my mom's voice was like even more so than that. So she's probably here right now. But I mean, one time I called her phone and her answering machine, way back then, answering machine answered, and the voice was like, I don't even, just said something, and I was like, who is that woman? And then my mom's like, that's me. And I was like, oh, she should have been a voice talent for sure. But I love doing stuff like that. So here on the podcast, here on the show, however you're listening to this, as a podcast or on YouTube, you may wonder, like, what is this channel? Like, it's all over the place. And it is, because I like doing readings for you guys. I like doing healing. I like doing shaman's drum. I like doing light language. And I like writing my books, and I like making oracle decks. And so we're just doing what you love is part of getting through the fog. And while also me plugging the fact that if you're interested in being more playful, WBAT 44 AM is really a playful series on this podcast, as is I'm recording Moxie and Roses right now, the whole audiobook. I'm about halfway through that, and I plan to finish that over the next week or so for everybody. And that's a really spooky story. So lots going on here. But just doing what you love without even having to pull any cards. Ancestors here to support. The first card out of the deck is you already know what to do. And look at that freaking big moon right there. You already know what to do. So you're in this void space, but it's not a void space where you're like, I've had some where I'm just kind of like sitting there like, well, what now? And it's like, you already know what to do. Follow your heart. Whoops. Following your heart. I think that's an owl in that little picture. You already know what to do. Do what you love. That's what you do. You just do what you love, which they're showing me the love card from Shaman's Drum. Oh God, I gotta go get it. Hold on. I try not to sit on the floor too often because they won't let me get it up and down. This card, I pulled this card earlier for myself, but this card came up. Love, what is felt for all beings. So this is the very last card of the Shaman's Drum deck, which I find interesting because they purposely had me, when I made this deck, they purposely had me like put love over the eyes of the two people on the card, which I found quite interesting. Like you can't see each other yet or something. Is that a horrible, terrible glare? Yes, it's bad. Let's see. I don't think it really matters all that much, but there, we'll stand them up. Love. Why are the eyes covered? Because somehow that's important. Stuff's being veiled from you. Well, we know that. You just said we were in a void space. So how long is from now until November the 1st? Because, I'm sorry. I'm impatient and I don't like waiting. Like a week and a half. Today I'm recording this on the 20th. And then all the way to the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31. So it's almost 2 weeks. It's almost 2 weeks away. So let's pull this last card, and then we need to get some advice, or else we need to look at here. So one more card from Bubble Bubble. No, 2 cards. Oh, well, maybe these are the advice cards. So 2 cards came out. Bubble, new ideas are coming to you, pay attention. We keep getting this. We got this the last week. We got this a couple of times that Wheel. And then we got a story card. Boxes. What Tanya didn't know wouldn't hurt her, Sandra thought. She didn't have to tell her sister everything, did she? Tanya needed stronger boundaries around her family members, especially Sandra, who was always trying to corner her and make her think she knew better. Why? But they came out together. So boxes to me is kind of like boundaries up, that during this liminal time, you could be dealing with people who are of a lesser vibration, think they know what's best for you, even though you already know what to do. I think that goes there. Yeah, because you already know what to do. You're going to be getting new ideas. You already know what's best for you. You don't need somebody else to tell you. Let me pull some happy cloud. Ooh. This one, I saw this one, and this one. This is my deck too. All right, the first one out is check in. Your guides are trying to reach you. The second one is luck. You will be successful. Well, that's good to know. This is kind of a messy little spread. And island time, you need to slow down. So this just corroborates what we've already been hearing is your guides are trying to reach you. We already said messages are going to be coming in various ways. New ideas are coming to you. But you're going to have to slow. This is every reading we've done lately. I don't know if you watch all of them, but they all seem to talk about slowing down, getting your head out of your device, paying attention to what's going on around you, noticing the signs and synchronicities that you're receiving, and knowing in this particular case, like through this void space time, you will be successful because you're moving closer to what is meant for you, they're saying. I would encourage you, and maybe I'll even do one. I don't know when I'm going to be able to record again, but probably won't be till next week or maybe Sunday. But I would encourage you to check in with your guides. Do something more than just a card drawing or something. Do something a little bit more like a deep meditation or a shamanic journey. I have shamanic journeys here in a playlist that I've recorded if you want to do something like that. But I did a shamanic journey. So Sandra Ingerman has been my shamanic teacher for quite some time now. And I went through a lot of certification courses with her. And I go back through the recordings of those periodically, just because every time I listen to them, I get something different. But my guides, I was really being called to journey, and I did a journey with her, and they had me pick like this soul loss one, and I was like, why do I want to talk about soul loss? I'm pretty up on all my, work every day, my clearing and healing and all of that. And when I went deeply into the journey state with a specific intention, the guides came in, and guides that I hadn't worked with in a while. And I don't know for you guys, but wolves have been showing up very strongly for me. So if you're connected to the channel in any way, then you may be seeing wolves as well. And my two wolf shifter guides I haven't worked with in a really long time, and wolf was showing up in various ways. But they came in and they said, and this this happens a lot. They're like, what you think you need is not really what you need right now. And I was like, oh, great, here we go again. So kind of threw all my intentions out the window and said, and I did release control to them. I'm like, well, what is it that I need? And it was very odd because I have been feeling power loss for a while now, and in the physical body. not so much the spirit, but the physical body for sure. So this is a message for some of you to just look at this. And if you want me to do a soul retrieval journey, I will, because I do not have one of those on here, but um, I can record one of those. If there's interest in that, if you want to put in the comments, I can. But they were like, so I've been like, you guys have known, if you've listened to me for a while, like sounding sick, like having a cold and having it last like 5 or 6 weeks. And they were like, your vitamin D is down again, and you need to start taking like big amounts of vitamin. So I'm back to taking like big amounts of vitamin D, like very high dosages of vitamin D way back. I've had this happen before, and I've had to deal with it. And it doesn't, you don't get, unfortunately, it takes a while for your vitamin D levels to come back up again. And I was kind of getting discouraged because I'm like, man, I eat really good and all this. And now the vitamin D, and they're like, well, it's not the vitamin D though. They said you have an aspect of your soul that has been being kept from you. They said it was way, way off planet. They didn't want to show me where it was. They're like, you don't need to go there and see it. But it was being used by, like, not by dark forces, but it was being used, like the light was being sucked from it, basically, they're saying for not so nice purposes. And so these guides went and did, I'm going to just get emotional, but these guys went and did a soul retrieval and brought that aspect back. And they're like, you don't really need to know where it is. They didn't want me to go there. But they went and retrieved that soul portion. I think of it like almost like a crystal or a I can't think of the word now, but had to bring that back and do a soul retrieval for this power loss. And they're like, you're just going to take at least a week or so before you start to feel better, and then you're going to start to feel some psychic abilities coming back online that have been kind of basically taken away from you because this particular aspect of your soul had been kind of hidden from you. I'm like, well, heck, why didn't you guys tell me this sooner? And they're saying because it wasn't the right time to do that I had to vibe up like a really high, much higher in order to be able to retrieve this piece of that soul fragment back. So the message here is twofold. One, you may be feeling something similar in terms of power loss, and we can do a soul retrieval group session, but I am available to work with folks too individually. I don't put that out there very often anymore, but you can reach out to me if that is something that feels like it might be something for you. I do work with folks that are called to come to me. I don't actively necessarily say that, but for whatever reason, they're having me put that out there. So the power loss, and then I guess that's all, because it just totally took my other thought away. Yeah, so it was, so what it was, I know what it was trusting the guides. So that was very surprising to me, although I'm like, this power loss must be coming from somewhere. And when Sandra was talking about it in her video, it was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I feel like is happening here. Even though, I was like, well, why wouldn't your guides just reach out and tell you that? Like, hey, you've got some power loss. You need to take care of that. And maybe in a sense they were or had been, but because I wasn't that deeply paying attention to that, and because my mind was focused on other intentions, like wanting to know, what's going to happen next year, and when's this divine counterpart supposed to be showing up, and all of that other stuff, like my mind is really focused on the material world. They're like, you just weren't hearing that. You just weren't hearing it until you went into a deeper state. So there's that. So let's just do, I've got this little deck. This was gifted to me. It's called, I don't even know. It's called Nature Mandala. The cards are all flipped around. It's just a little tiny deck. I just want to get a couple cards out of this deck. These are the like nature mandalas, like people take flowers and little leaves and stuff and make these beautiful mandalas. And I just want to see if there's any other messages, anything else I need to share about the power loss. I don't want to share about the power loss anymore. But maybe what they're saying then is this is a good time in the void space to tie up those types of loose ends, because apparently when November gets here, these eclipses start happening and all of that, you're supposed to be approaching that from a very clear state and not in a space of being in a diminished state, but they're saying like having all your wits about you so that you can navigate what's coming up next. So the two cards that came out, the first one is friendship. And just take a look at that little mandala. Interesting, I put that over the rescue black cat. And connection with a heart in the center, so like heart connection. So it looks like some new connections, because really these should be like together, kind of like a friendship, because they came out together. Friendship connection coming your way. So there's new connections coming your way. Could be friendship, could just be a better connection with your own intuitive psychic abilities. You know, I like to lay them all out on the table and let you just pick which ones are intuitively correct for you. I know sometimes some people are like, well, it might not be a love relationship. And I'm like, well, it could be for somebody. So we should just say that. Say everything that Spirit is feeding us here. But it sounds like it's a new friendship connection that could possibly lead to love. But it's going to start out as a friendship. And you're going to feel like, they're saying you're going to feel like this rescue black cat who had kind of, oh, it's so cute, who's kind of been sitting in the spirit world or looking into the spirit world for so long, looking at that little life preserver, going kind of like, just save me. Like my little heart, just like this little rescue black cat. He just wanted to be loved. Not that he didn't love himself, but he just wanted that connection. Like he wanted his person. He wanted, what's a familiar? Like they're always with you. They kind of, like you telepathically communicate with them. They're here to protect you and watch over you. And this little rescue black cat is just like, I just wanted my person. And so Spirit is saying that for many of you, that friendship connection, potential love relationship, but definitely involving a person, they're saying. This is a person connection coming in to help you out and not necessarily to save you. I do find it interesting that I did write save me. So I think for many of you, you've gotten past that. Okay, we're heading into a little love part here, but I'm not going to let it go for too long. But many of you have gotten past that, like, I need a relationship to save me. And you've done a lot. I just saw 3330 on the timer when I said that. You've done a lot of personal work on yourself, and you don't think anymore that someone's coming in to save you from yourself or anything like that. But it is almost like Spirit throwing out a life preserver in the sense that this connection is going to bring you back to life. Like you may have been feeling like, I don't know, just down about connections in general. And they're showing me that I want me to grab this. You may have just been feeling down about connections in general. You're having me pick up the Love Life rock. You may have been feeling down about connections in general, and this one is coming back to kind of liven things up a little bit. Bring some more fun back in, because this little rock, I like it because it's very like joyful, like the yellow and the orange and I don't know, I found this somewhere, but I So anything else you guys want to say at 34 minutes? Okay. So in wrapping it up, because I do want to just wrap it up quickly, the fog is kind of here right now. You are in a liminal space. There's an abundance of messages and things all around you. It's not that you're just supposed to sit there and wonder. Oh, here's what this was. Would have been the next card on this deck. Have a good attitude. It's not that you're just supposed to sit there and feel like you can't get anything done because you don't know what's going to happen next. You already know what to do. There's love all around you. There's even things you can't see, connections you can't see, like this friendship connection coming in, that are there for you. There's new ideas that are still showing up. There are, though, some boundaries around certain people that you're still being asked to have. Like, you don't have to tell all your good ideas and what's going on to everybody. So, know who your confidants are and know who they aren't and adjust accordingly. Slow down and notice the signs and know that in the end, you will be successful. This is all happening for you, not to you. There's just a little bit of time needed in this liminal space for what is happening. Yeah, what is happening behind the scenes? What can you tell us? I do want to know that. What is happening behind the scenes that's causing this void space / liminal space that needs to take place for the next couple of weeks? Samhain. Why is Samhain a thing that's happening that needs to be liminal space stuff? Oh, because Samhain is the end. Technically, based on the pagan wheel of the year, Samhain is like the ending of the summertime, so to speak, and the beginning, November 1st, is the beginning of the new, quote unquote, like wheel of the year, or turn of the wheel towards Beltane. So Samhain has to happen first. Things have to be wrapped up. And so Spirit is on our behalf, working on energetic connections. They've been doing that for quite some time now, but they're like, Samhain has to happen first energetically. The wheel has to turn, and then all this stuff will start to take off. So that is it, my loves. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. I'm not sure what episodes we're going to be doing next. I'm going to have some Moxie and Rose's new chapters coming up, and another episode of WBAT 44 with C Star and Heather Happenstance. And until then, I hope you all have a blessed time. Thank you so much for joining me, and take care.